Hi, this is Lena. In today's lesson, we will talk about the present perfect. Now, whenever I give this lesson, usually my students ask me, do I use the present perfect or the simple past? It can be a little bit confusing. Simple past, when we talk about the simple past, we usually talk about an action that happened and finished. We have signal words for the past, like the words ago, yesterday, last, when, or a specific date in the past. But when we talk about the present perfect, we talk about an action that happened or started in the past and continues up until now. We have other cases which we will discuss in this video. The signal words for the present perfect are since, for, already, just, ever, never, recently, up until now, and so far. Now, when we want to form a sentence in the present perfect, what do I need to know? I need to have a subject, and the helping verb has or have, and a past participle of any kind of verb. Now, with he, she, and it, or any singular pronouns, or any singular nouns, I use the helping verb has, plus a past participle of any verb, or what we call sometimes the third form of the verb. Adam has already eaten his sandwich. Now here I have the signal words already to show me that this sentence should be in the present perfect. With we, I, they, and you, I use the helping verb have plus the past participle of the verb. We have finished our assignment since the morning. Now when do I use the present perfect? If something starts in the past and continues up until now. I have been a teacher since 2001. I have been a teacher for 19 years. Now, been is the third form of the verb be. If you don't know the forms of the verb be, they are in the present, is and are, was and were in the past simple, been in the past participle. Now, usually I use the word since if I want to indicate when did the verb start, when did it exactly start. Since October, since 2008, since yesterday, since the morning. So I usually use since with time, days, and dates. But if I have a period of time, or if I want to use numbers, I use the word for 1 day, for 1 month, for 5 years, for several days. So when I want to indicate when did the verb start, I use since. When I don't want to show when did the verb start, or I don't know, and I want to indicate the period of time or a number of days or months or hours, then I use the word for. Now, I also use the present perfect when I have an indefinite past. That means I don't remember when did the action happen, or I don't want to say when did it happen. He has finished the book. He has already finished the book. She has just bought a new phone. Now, usually I use the word just to indicate that the action happened in a recent time. Already doesn't really indicate a specific time, but it shows me that the action has been done. Now, I usually also use the present perfect if I have a repeated past action. I have driven down that road many times. I will continue to drive that road. So if I want to show that the action happened before many times, and I will continue to do it many times more, so I use the present perfect tense. Here we may also use the simple past if the action will stop. So if I want to show that I want to say that I drove down that road many times before, but I will no longer do that anymore, I use the present simple. Now, many times and several times are also signal words for the present perfect. Except if I want to talk about something that I will no longer do anymore. Then I use the simple past. I can also use the present perfect for recent action. We talked about that a little bit. But here I just want to show you that when you use the negative form of the verb, like the first example, you haven't watched the video yet. Here I want to show the negative form of the present perfect. Usually you use the word yet for negatives. I have a negative after the word have. You haven't watched the video yet. You have just written your name. You have done great so far, up until now and recently. So those are all recent actions. Just the first one, it shows you that the action hasn't happened yet recently, but it might happen soon. With never and ever, I also use the present perfect. He has never loved someone before. Has he ever loved someone before? Now here I use the word ever with a question because it's usually used in question. Never, it's another type of negatives that we use with present perfect. Now, with negatives and questions, if I want to make a present perfect into a negative or a question. Now, the first sentence, it's in the present, or it's in the positive form. Sorry. Lisa has eaten her breakfast. If I want to make it negative, I just have to put the negative word not after the has and have. Lisa hasn't eaten her breakfast yet. Danielle has left the office. If I want to make a question, I should put the helping verb in the beginning of the sentence, before the subject. Has Danielle left the office yet? Or already? We also use yet and already with questions sometimes. Now, they have been to Paris. Here I have an affirmative. I want to make it into a negative and into a question. They haven't been to Paris. Have they been to Paris? I hope this lesson was helpful. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe.